Welcome to Spiritual Dialogue with Father Odon Di Castro. We are here at Cariana Lay Monastic Community. I'm your host, Brother Lodi, and with us is Sister Tachi. Sister?
Yes, Father, you were going to continue on that statement. That was quite a statement that was said by the bishop.
Well,
Or was it a bishop?
It
Or
was
was it a
first
bishop?
mentioned
Meant by the Pope?
By the Pope.
Okay.
And the bishops are just repeating what the Pope says.
What is the statement again, Father?
Well, there's no hell.
Oh, there's no hell.
And the bishop, who is an officer of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, which means he can influence the other bishops, also said that there is no hell. And in fact, he says a good news to be
Spread around.
spread all over around. Well, he described the gospel as good news, and he says this is part of the good news, that there is no hell.
What's good about having no hell, Father?
Well, that's really good,
Yeah, you can do anything you want.
because nobody will go to hell.
Nobody will go to hell.
But it's fake news.
Yes, Father, I know it's fake.
And everybody is now complaining about fake news. And it seems that the worst fake news are coming from the Vatican, because this came first from the Pope, saying that there is no hell. And now a bishop in the Philippines says there is no hell, and he says good news. And he's supposed to be one of those men of light.
Yes, Father.
So it's really darkness and not men of light that we are seeing here. Now, for bishops to say that there is no hell is a clear sign they have no faith,
Yes, Father.
because they do not know the teachings of the Catholic faith. Now, if you will notice, before, Europe was a Catholic continent. Everybody was Catholic in Europe before. Then suddenly there was a Martin Luther. And Martin Luther did not convert half of Europe to Protestantism. No. He only converted the priests and the bishops. And so half of Europe, the bishops and the priests, began to preach Protestantism without the people knowing it was Protestant doctrines. The people did not know. But like you, layman, all you do is listen to the bishops and the priests.
Yes.
That's normally what we do, lay people.
Yeah, and that's good that you listen to your bishop, you listen to your priest, and you obey them. That is good.
But if the teaching is wrong, how come?
That's the danger now. What if they teach you something wrong, that there is no hell? You, without realizing it, will be turning Protestants without knowing it. In fact, even worse as a Protestant, because Protestants believe in hell. So if you don't believe in hell, you're worse than a Protestant.
Yes, Father.
And do you still expect to go to heaven if you don't believe in hell? When to go to heaven, you must have faith, meaning to say you believe in the teachings of the Catholic Church. And the teaching of the Catholic Church, as you can see in the compendium of the Catechism of the Catholic Church of Pope Benedict, says that there is a judgment, and after judgment, it's either heaven or hell.
Does it follow that if you do not believe in hell,
You have
you
no
do
faith.
not believe in heaven?
Well, not necessarily, because the bishop and the pope believe in heaven, except it is a very queer heaven, so queer that I myself would not like to go there. Because he said that heaven is a place where some people will not enjoy, will not be happy in heaven.
What's the point of going to heaven if you do not enjoy the place?
Exactly, that's the confusion. You see that? That's why the people now are confused. First, he says there is no hell, and then he says if you go to heaven, you will not enjoy heaven. Some people will not enjoy heaven. So you're right, Brother Lodi. What's the use of going to heaven? And this is said by one of our Catholic bishops, who is an officer of the Catholic Bishops' Conference. So we're wondering what the other bishops are saying.
So, Father, it also negates that if one does good, one gets a reward, and when you do evil, you get punished. There's no more punishment anywhere, is there? So, is there's no detriment to doing evil?
It seems that if you do evil, you'll go to heaven, but you won't enjoy it.
Okay,
Which
punishment.
is a little really
That's
confusing.
the punishment. Okay.
Now, what is dangerous here is the fact that you people, the lay people, because it's a bishop who said it, like during that time in Europe, will believe what the bishop says, and without knowing it, you're becoming Protestant, you're even becoming pagans, without you even realizing it.
Then what shall we do, Father? If we realize that that is a wrong teaching, how are we going to study or to learn the ways?
That's the second part that we're going to discuss yet. How to learn properly, like the apostles, rather than the crowd. But the first lesson you have learned is precisely that we're having now popes and bishops who are teaching the wrong thing. You should know that.
Yes, because there will be more wrong things. This
There
is
will
not
be
the end
more
of the
wrong
whole thing,
things.
I'm sure.
You have to realize that before you ask me, how can I learn the new things, the true things? You would not be interested in learning the true doctrines of the Catholic Church unless you realize that today, as the first reading in the Mass today reminds us, you can no longer learn the truth. The first reading says, even from the east and from the west, you can never learn the truth.
Why,
Sign of the
Father?
times.
Because God has punished the whole world.
Oh, I see.
For its infidelity, God will punish the world in that you can never learn the truth anymore in the world. You can only learn it somewhere, but not in the world.
Yes, Father.
Somewhere else, not in the world. That's why the basis of the monastic life is fuga mundo, to get away from the world, to get out of the world, because there God has punished the world. You can never learn the truth in the world anymore.
Excuse me, Father, but I read what Pope Benedict XVI said. Don't run away from the world. Challenge the world. Paano po yun? How's that?
Well, we have to look at the context in which Pope Benedict said that. No? You know, you can never interpret a statement correctly without the complete background. So we have to find out first how he said it.
Does he mean you have to be holy and just before you can challenge the world? You have to be divine in your soul.
Because, strictly speaking, I wouldn't know what he means by saying challenge the world, because Christ did not say anything in the same vein. Christ never told us to challenge the world. He told us to overcome the world. He told us friendship with the world is enmity with Christ. So I really won't know what he meant by to challenge the world. So we have to look at the right context in which he said it.
Yes, okay, Father. Sister?
Oh, so Father, as you were saying, so now this is only I was beginning to think there have been many wrong sayings, wrong doctrines that they've been
Teachings,
saying, and
yeah.
now this is another one that the Pope has said and has been followed by some bishops, even ours, our own bishop. So there will be more.
Oh yes, I would even suspect from the way our own bishops are voting during their conferences that majority believes in this heresy. Majority. And therefore the lay people who are under these bishops who are teaching the wrong things are in grave danger of becoming Protestants or even becoming pagans. That's why we have to go to the second part immediately on teaching people how to learn the truth
Yes.
when the teachers are teaching them the wrong things.
How come these lay people believe in the doctrine that is really clearly wrong because it is written in the Holy Book?
It's clearly wrong because they're ignorant of the doctrine. And we have seen it and we have discussed it before that even when the Philippines was discovered and Catholicism was brought here to the Philippines, even the history of the Catholic Church, described the fact that we were very badly catechized, so we did not learn properly the teachings of the Catholic Church. This became worse in the year 200 or 1900s, where Pope Pius X, Pope Pius X and 11th, and Gregory the 16th, and so on, were practically panicking because the Catholics were totally ignorant of the teachings of the Catholic Church. In fact, that's the reason why the Council of Trent was held, to correct the teachings of the Catholic Church, because all Catholics were having all wrong concepts about the teachings of the Church.
There's a compendium written by Pope Benedict. It's a very simple language and easily understood. How come people would not get the idea of the original of the teaching?
Because Catholic bishops and priests are so busy doing the wrong things.
I see.
Instead of saving souls, they're holding demonstration, getting involved in politics, rush judging the presidents, and caring about global warming and all these things. They're all involved in the wrong things and not in the saving of souls. And because of that, they're not studying how to save souls. They're more concerned on how lowering the temperature because it's getting warmer.
Yeah.
And so all their activities are on the natural level, natural. Beautifying their churches and having guitar mass and all those types of things, entertaining people during mass. They are not studying how to save souls. So they don't know how. If they don't know, how can they teach you how to save their souls?
Parang, Father, I was just thinking, it seems to be more natural level. They beautify the churches because they want, and guitar mass, so they want people to come to mass. But then you come to mass so that you will learn how to save your soul. But I think they forgot that part.
Yeah, they're actually beautifying their churches so
people
they
will
will
come. No?
Not
Not
really,
really.
so that
Not
they
really.
they will be promoted.
Excuse me.
Because parish priests are easily promoted when they have beautiful churches.
That's it. That's it.
Because if you want to save souls, you don't have to have a beautiful church. What you should have is beautiful homilies,
Yes.
Yes,
not
Father.
beautiful churches.
Yes. No, is that the one? I thought pa naman they were just, come on, come in, and the church is nice. But they don't have to say anything anyway. Nothing worth listening to, so what's the point?
Yeah.
It's
The
downhill.
emphasis is wrong.
Yeah.
Even Pope Francis, for instance, he has been a pope for more than 5 years. I have never heard from him what I should do to save my soul.
But he's told you how to lose yours. And mine.
Well, sadly,
And mine.
that's what he has been
and
teaching, how
everybody
to lose your
else's.
soul.
Yeah.
But the first duty of the Pope is to remind us how to save our souls, because the generations die out. The Pope before, the ones he has taught how to save souls, those people are all dead.
No,
The next Pope has to teach
Yes,
again and
that's
remind
true.
people how to save their souls. And up to Pope Benedict, they have done a good job. But after Pope Benedict, I have never heard anymore how to save your soul.
So in
Have
other words,
you?
the next
Have you?
younger generation will never know it.
The next, yes, the next generation would never know it, and the old generation
Will get confused.
who have forgotten it
That's sad. Yeah.
would never be reminded how to save their souls.
We have only 30 seconds, Father.
So there we are pinpointing the main reason, one of the important reason why the people in the Catholic Church are confused because of the teachers teaching wrong things. And we hope to proceed immediately to the next point, that we, the constituents, the lay people, should study the right way, because if we depend on the bishops and the priests, there is no hope. It's hopeless.
Okay.
We have to save our souls by learning by ourselves how to save our souls.
Thank you, Father. Thank you for viewing Spiritual Dialogue with Father Udon de Castro. We'll see you next episode, and thank you very much for viewing.
Hosanna, Hosanna, in excelsis, Hosanna.